Hello everyone, I am Mohammad San Khan and this is my second task, unsupervised learning, machine learning algorithm, Spark Foundation Industry. In the first part, we import the different libraries, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, clustered k-means, and standard scaler, and train test split, and then label encoder. In the second part, we load the dataset, IRF dataset, and in the third part, explanatory data analysis. Data.head find the number of rows, means find show that the first 5 rows of our data set, and in this part we find the category which column is the categorical column, and you see that id sepal length sepal width petal width is all in continuous variable column, and species is the categorical column. In this part we use label encoder function. Why we use label encoder function? Because our model easily because machine learning model um, is very comfortable in continuous variable as compared to categorical variable. That's why we have 3 classes, and label encoder assign the number of each class. You see that data.shape finding the number of rows and columns, number of columns. Data.describe mean, standard deviation, minimum first percentile, second percentile, third percentile, and maximum value of each continuous variable. Data.info is the show that the data type of each column. First one is integer, second one is float, and last one is also integer. This technique is used for finding the null values in our data set, and in this technique we use we want to find a number of classes, how many number of classes has 0 has 50 rows, class 1 has 50 rows also, and class 2 has 50 rows also. We find we actually find this column. There is the count plot of 3 different classes, 0, 1, and 2, and these are equal each other, 50 50 50. Then we find the correlation technique, heat map of correlation. If you see that sepal length and the petal length centimeter correlation, you see that 0.87 centimeter. The sepal length and petal length has highest correlation, has highest relationship between each other. If we want to find petal width with uh, sepal width centimeter, you see that 0 minus 0.36 means that negative correlation between each other. Correlation is just the relationship between two continuous variables. Then we splitting the data set, and you see that the from column 2 to column 4 we assign copy data variable. Then in the last column, species column, we assign to y variable. And you see that the 3 classes 0, 1, and 2 why because we want to predict classes. That's why we separate species column from our dataset. Then we perform scaling technique. Why we use scaling? Feature scaling is a method used to normalize the range of independent variable or feature of data. In this part, we train our dataset. In this part, we split our dataset into two parts. Test size, data size, and test size has a 0.3. It means that we train our model 70% and then uh, and test our model 30%. Then there is the technique for finding the number of clusters. You see that if I have one number of cluster, the sum of square error is 400. But when we increase the number of cluster, you see there is sum of square error decreases. But if you see that 3 when number of cluster is 3, the sum of square error is decrease also decreases more. This elbow represent this elbow tells us number of cluster number of cluster what is the best number of cluster for this data set. So we pick 3 number of cluster. You see that this random state is only used for consistency for our model. Then we fit our model, train the dataset in, then we train dataset into our model, and then we predict the test data, which we split out above. And this is the cluster means our model predicts this test data 1 2 0 1 1 2 2. Then we have 3 clusters. You see that first one 0 1 and 2 classes, and 0 classes has this centroid, 1 classes has the centroid is this red point, and the second classes has this centroid point. So this is my second task of linear regression, k means. Thank you so much.